Completing a ratio table. Finding the pattern or relationship within a table. There are many ways to do this, but I usually like to start with the easiest, which is to multiply or dividing between the two columns. So make sure you have your multiplication table ready for help. When filling out a ratio table, you want to look for a pattern. I usually like to look for or start with multiplication, so you got to see if it's increasing side to side, and there is definitely a pattern. So if you notice, the pattern is times 3. Therefore, the last one also has to be times 3. So 10 times 3 is 30. So x equals 30. So that's one way to fill out the table. Another way to fill out the table is using division. So again, you still want to look side to side. And I want to say division because I noticed from 6 to 3, the number got smaller. It didn't increase, so it got smaller. So that means it's using division. So to go from 6 to 3, I need to divide by 2, which is true. Then I need to try the same thing over here. So if I put in another number, I can put in 30 divided by 2, and this would be 15. So as long as I stick with the pattern, then I can fill out my ratio table. Sometimes it's not that easy to use multiplication or division to find the pattern. So in this case, you would definitely have to try a different option, which is looking at the columns going up and down. So if you take a good look at it, you should notice a pattern. Right, so if you said the pattern was to add 7 over here, you are correct. So again, that means everything else has to be plus 7, plus 7, plus 7. And then if I were to go backwards, I would do minus 7. Same thing over here on the other column. There is a pattern as well, and that is plus 8. And like I said, if you wanted to go backwards to fill up on the top, you would work backwards. So instead of doing plus 8, you want to do minus 8. Alright, this last way is when going through the columns up and down and you really can't find a pattern. Here is one more option. So in the previous problem, this is the same problem. The answer was 24 over here. So we want to test it out to see if it's also true using this new way. So you want to find the rate, and then you will multiply. So just like the previous problem, I noticed that from 8 to 7 it got smaller. So when I set up my rate, it's going to be 7 out of 8 because it got smaller. So I can test it out. Because I'm going this way, I'm going to times it by 8. Or we can also cross cancel, and we're left with 7. So we'll do one more example to double check. So again, I'm going from left to right. So the number I want to multiply with is number 16. It's an improper fraction, so you want to divide. So in the last two problems, the rate was 7 to 8. But when we get to the next part, we need to switch it around because now we got to fill it out going in the opposite direction. So instead of 7 over 8, this time we're going to do 8 over 7. So pay close attention to the colors I just used. I just switched it on you guys. So same idea, I'm going to multiply with 21 because I'm going the other way. So I'm going to use that number instead. Since it's an improper fraction, I want to divide. Oh hey, it is correct. So let's double check to make sure it's correct by going through the columns and making sure everything is consistent again. So plus 7. Plus 8. Oh, look at it, works. And then plus 8 again. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. So if not, please watch it again or send me an email or set up a Google Meet.